Alright guys, here we're just basically getting everything sanded down so we can start layering up, because we got to get pretty close to almost exactly the same height and thickness as the boat fiberglass, and we're about 1/4 of an inch in. So we're just going to sand everything, prep everything, hitting the ends with the multi-tool, get everything nice and clean before we start layering, because we're going to have to do a few different layers. I was going to try and reuse the old piece we cut off, but it was just too damaged, so we're just going to block this down, clean everything up, get it nice and straight, do as much as we can to get this as straight as possible, shape it the way we want it, and start layering up to build out to the width of the boat and the thickness of the boat. Now we got things pretty well sanded. We've been sanding for hours, and we're going to start layering up, and we're going to wet this down, do the edges, and start laying in strips to kind of fade this in. There were definitely some spots that were low, there were definitely some spots that were high, and basically you just have to do your best to navigate the situation and really fill in those gaps before you get too far, because our strength is in layers, and we're going to make a ton of layers and get this thing all built out. Now we've got some good coverage, we have lots of layers. Now we're going to drape the entire thing end to end and really finish out the glass portion and get the job that we just did as level as possible with the boat. And this is really going to tie everything together and give us a nice flat surface. Now we're at everyone's favorite part. We got everything sealed up. We're mixing some paint up, getting some ready to get some color on this thing. We sealed and primed where we needed to seal and prime. We're just doing the last little bit of touch-ups before we get going and start spraying this thing. It's a big boat. We're going to use a single stage. Now I'm going to work my way from the inside out with this and just try and get to all the spots that I won't be able to get to once we've painted the outside, especially because we're painting the fenders to match. So I'm really going to do my best to not step anywhere, hit anywhere that I've painted, which is tough because the airline gets in the way. You know, I probably could have hung it from the ceiling or something like that, but basically I just had Steve hold the line and mind where I'm going and try to pay attention as best as I can to get the best coverage and not hit anywhere that I've previously painted.
Let it come and let it be.
just checking everything out, touching up any last spots that I missed, which definitely, we did definitely miss some spots. It's tough. There's never enough lighting. Sometimes there's too much lighting. And then once you stare at something for so long, it definitely plays tricks on you. So we're just hitting any little last spots, going over everything, and now we're just going to clean this gun up and get moving on the next part. We're going to let this dry for 24 hours and hope everything looks good.